Hello and welcome to the Successful Salon Team Training Room. I'm your host, Jennifer Louise, and we are here to help you level up your game of marketing so that you can grow the salon you truly dream of. So this is part 2, girls and boys. So if you haven't seen part 1, then once you finish this, go and watch part 1 and have a little listen to our little chat on Monday, only 2 days ago. It was epic, and there were some really great gems that came up. One of the things that I'm going to start this session off by saying is what has got you to where you are now is not going to get you to where you want to go. The world has changed. In the last 3 months, we have seen the e-commerce and the mobile marketing rocket more than it has in the last 10 years. Okay, the growth has been astronomical. And so what I'm looking at right now is e-commerce and mobile marketing going up and up and up and up and up, and salons staying where they were. We still have salons using pen and paper. We still have salons that aren't on online booking yet. Guys, this can't happen anymore. We have got to level up. So I have brung a whirlwind for you these last 2 days. May I just say that she is on Team Vaynerchuk, guys. So like, epic. And if you want to know how she got on it, total ballsy move. Like, this is why I screamed out to this lady saying, come and help us, come and do a presentation with me, because her moves are as ballsy as hell. So welcome, introduce yourself for those that haven't seen you in episode 1.
Absolutely. So my name is Danyah. I am a content creator, and I spent 1.5 years on Team Gary. So I did everything from his Instagram to his weekly V's, daily V's, things like that. And now I do content creation for small entrepreneurs. So I'm here to teach you guys about Instagram video. I'm very excited.
So Danyah actually works with small businesses, which is the field that we are in, guys. So what she's talking about here is not only the things that she's learned for massive businesses like Vaynerchuk, like Gary Vee, and all of the massive businesses that they have on their books. But she's learned to adapt those to now the smaller businesses like you, like me, that can absolutely use these strategies every day and grow our businesses. And like I said to you just 2 seconds ago, what got you here now is not going to get you where you want to go. So listen up. Danyah is going to share some wise words of wisdom with you, and then we're going to thrash out what might be stopping you from showing up live, because we're going to be talking about video right today.
Yeah, we are. I'm super stoked.
That's your power, isn't it? Your superpower.
That is, yeah. So I've always been very attached to video and storytelling via video, and now especially with Instagram, but we see like the rise of TikTok and Facebook, and there's video everywhere. And I think it's only going to become more prevalent. So I think really understanding, today I'm going to specifically focus on Instagram because I think that's really where you guys can get the most value. But in terms of video in general, if you can integrate video into your workflow and into your business, it'll do a lot of good for you.
I kind of, the way that I look at things in my business and in my social media world is that social media is literally just a live, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a live show of your life.
Yeah.
They're like, what are some of these reality TV shows like Geordie Shore and all that kind of, I don't watch telly, so I'm like, I don't know. That's the only one that's coming to my brain right now, like the Essex thing. Yep. That's pretty much what your social media is like. So if you think about social media as if you are in Geordie Shore or the Essex thing in your business, you are going to get the most out of social media. People want to know what you're up to during the day. People want to know what you're creating, what you're doing of an evening, how you spend your weekends. They want to know these things. And by showing up as the person that lets these clients of yours, these guests into your life a little bit, you build friendships and human connections. And that's what we were talking about in session 1, about showing the human behind the business. So take it away, Danyah.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay. So bear with me. This is the first time sharing my screen on this.
It can be very tricky.
Don't tell me. I think we're good. So let's see.
Okay.
There we go. So I just need to.
Oh, Canva user. Yay.
Yes, I love Canva. Oh, you're getting a sneak peek. Big fan. It's like so simple, especially, and this was one of the tips. If you don't have a ton of design know-how, obviously, there's so many free resources out there. Canva is one of them, and they have a new video feature. So if you're looking for stories, different things like that, Canva is definitely something to check out.
Hey Claire, lovely to see you online. There's quite a few eyeballs and nobody's saying hello. So say hi, and also drop me a yes in the comments if you use Canva. I want to know who's out there using it, because it is awesome.
Love it. Yeah, so as Jennifer just said, like, I'm a filmmaker turned digital media creative. I worked on Team Gary. I've worked with brands like P&G's Olay, WeWork, and a bunch of other ones. And I specialize on centering your brand and your digital content around your customer. This was one of my favorite quotes. It says, "Marketing's no longer about the stuff you sell, but the story you tell." So I think your service, as much as we inherently want to put our business first, the customer is looking at you and your energy and your story, and then your business falls to a second in a lot of different ways. They go with you because they vibe with you, not necessarily because they are looking explicitly for a hairstylist. They're like, oh my God, I love her and the content that she makes. I'm going to go get my hair cut from her because I want to be in that sphere. Yeah. So these are my 3 main things about Instagram that I see a lot of my clients steer away from. When you think about Instagram, you need to think about it as attention real estate. So this app has a lot of different facets, whether it's highlights, stories, IGTV. It can get really overwhelming really quickly, especially if you're new to it as a business. Look at, as a small business, how can you utilize the features in that app to spend as much time in front of your customer as possible. So look at it as real estate. Make your customer the centerpiece of your content. I know we talked on the first session a lot about how we really wanted to avoid talking about our services and our methods and giving stuff away. But if that's what your customer is asking for and looking for, the person that is coming into your salon, what are they asking for? Your audience, especially if you're transitioning from a personal page to a business page, your audience may not reflect your customer. So really keep them in mind and make content for them. And if you're making that content effectively, then your audience will become your customers and your customers will be your audience. So that's the ideal situation. And a lot like we talked in the first phrase, don't be afraid to show yourself. You know, be in front of the camera, show your personality, show your face, make sure that people know that there's a person behind the brand.
Yeah, I even posted, girls and boys, if you're on my Instagram, you would have seen it yesterday. I'm currently just skipping out for a little while, but I'm actually on the Conversations 2020 a convention today, and I was like taking loads and loads of selfies. I had no makeup on, literally just like, not many people get like that. But do you know what? It shows my human side. Yep. And I think, you know, I'm banging on at you guys all the time. Show your human side. Show your human side. Well, that was my human side. Bare face, no eyebrows, because I have like a patch missing on this one.
I know, I have the same. My eyebrows are blonde, so I'm constantly dyeing them. But yeah, she's 1,000% correct. The more that you can make your brand feel humanized and that you are genuinely a person. The reason we love reality TV is because we spent so long looking at these idealized public relations machines that were celebrities. And then all of a sudden you end up with Geordie Shore and people running around being crazy and drunk and all this stuff. And you almost feel like you have access into a secret.
Yeah.
And a good social media gives you that feeling of like, oh my gosh, I know this person. So that's a big, big thing to focus on.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people say to me, oh, Jennifer, your energy is so infectious. Like, I always want to watch what you're up to. And I just think, no, it's not that my energy is infectious. It's because I'm real. It's because if I make a mess up, I show it live. And people like to see that. They're like, Jen messed up again.
Speaking of mess ups, I see that I duplicated a slide here. So I'll just kind of riff off of this. In-feed content is, think of it as like your home base. This is where you can get a lot of feedback from your audience. You can see what other people are follow what they're creating. So I definitely suggest, a lot of people talk about creating kind of a bubble around yourself and not following other people. I do not agree with that. I think that the best thing, especially when you're new to content creation, is to follow people in your niche. So follow other hair vertical people, whether it's influencers, hair salons, hair brands, different things. And if you're following a large brand, you're going to realize that they are paying people a lot of money to be able to come up with strategy and to read the market. And they're going to give you insights that you don't have to pay for because they're posting that content. So it can, sorry, go ahead.
I think we think that there's these massive hidden secrets behind content creations. And actually, just by watching someone that's doing it really, really well, like Gary Vee, like, we can learn so much. But because we're thinking of the backside of our brains and we're thinking, no, he knows more than me. He knows far more than what I do. And therefore there's tips and tricks and stuff. I mean, yes, of course, there are some. But generally, if we just copy what he's doing that we can see, we level up a few levels already. So,
absolutely.
You can only get yourself so far with the knowledge that you've got. You've got to go learn from someone else.
Well, and I think, like you said, mimicking is such a great way to start because it really is getting you in that space. And then all of a sudden, one day you realize you're like, oh, I just noticed this changed in the app. I wonder if that changes my content strategy. So speaking of changes in the app, IG Reels is the main focus right now. You will see it's taken up this very important spot at the bottom of your feed. Anytime Instagram changes its platform, you want to pay attention to that because that means that the algorithm is prioritizing that specific type of content. And when the algorithm prioritizes it, one of two things is happening. You have the opportunity to jump outside of your follower base. So people that don't know you could find you because the app is pushing that content. And secondly, it gives you an opportunity to customize your content for that specific feature. So I put a couple over here, and I'll absolutely get this to you if you would like to post it to download. Some specs so Reels just got extended to 30 seconds versus 15, which it has been for a long time. And so since it began, so 30 seconds is a lot of story time. You want to use it for key points, different short punchlines, things like that. That's what people are using Reels for. It's setup, punchline, conclusion. There's not a lot of time for exposition. Yeah. So then you do want to caption these if you can. If it's too much talking, then key points. You'll see people pop up words, different things like that. And editing, it can be a little bit clunky, but there's also other options. The beautiful part of this feature is that it's so raw. You can really just jump in there, create in the app. And if it's not perfect, it's not perfect, and that's okay. It's not a high production.
Nobody cares. Speaking of changes in the app, have any of you changed the color of your Instagram icon yet?
I don't have that feature yet. I'm so mad.
Mine.
Oh, I love it.
It's on green, and you can change it back to the original feature. You can turn it black. You can change it to all sorts of colors. Happened yesterday. My 12-year-old came down and went, "Oh my God, Mum, give me your phone."
I love that. Yeah, it was, and they launched it for their birthday, so which is really kind of a fun idea.
Yeah.
So stories. The benefits of IG stories are they're chronological. So that's the only feature in the entire app that takes you from start to finish in your day. As you post them, they will stay in that order, which can be really, really useful when you're trying to tell a story over time. So they expire in 24 hours unless you put them in the highlights. And I call them tiles. They're made of tiles. So you'll see all these little dash marks. Yeah. They're 15-second clips throughout the day. I use them as hi, how's it going? Just like very, very natural, raw, or highly produced. There's no middle ground on that. You either pop in no makeup, no worries, and talk to your audience directly, or you have planned out stories. Maybe you're trying to sell something, you have a specific execution planned, a coupon or something like that. You can plan those ahead. I recommend that if you're trying to sell something, you put it within the first 5 tiles, because people are not usually going to get all the way into your story if you have 5, 10, 15 tiles. Mm-hmm. Really make sure that the most prioritized content goes to the beginning of your story. So early in the day, first things you're posting, you say, "Good morning, how's it going? Here's my coffee," and then start going into those ad assets.
I find
DM strategy. So this is a little bit of a tip. Sorry, I just cut you off.
I found that the best strategy for me releasing stories is to literally do them a few hours apart, and then because everyone comes back on and watches more, and then they watch more, and then they watch more, as opposed to if I was to do, like you just said, 10 or 15 in a row, they'll get 5 in and then swipe off me because they're bored of listening to my voice. So throughout the day, sporadically. And what was you going to say about the DM?
Yeah, so I know like the way I consume stories, I watch them in the morning and at night. So that's a great, great tip. So the DM strategy, Instagram actually prioritizes the connection between your followers and you. So if you are consistently DMing people, they are going to move the priority of your stories up in their feed. So when you open the Instagram feed, you'll see the stories at the top of your screen. You will come closer to the beginning of that and more likely to be viewed if you are conversing consistently with people. So I always encourage people to, when they get a new follower, DM them a voice note and just be like, "Hey, welcome. I'm so excited. Do you have any questions about what I offer? Like any hair questions that I could cover? Or I'm so glad to have you part of the family." You know, that can be super simple. And that tells Instagram when they respond, oh, these people are connected. Even though you may have never met them, it tells the algorithm that you are a priority to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And also they get to hear your voice. So again, creating that human interaction as opposed to a text message, which is like sticky, isn't it? It's like, I mean, most people prefer to text than phone. They would much prefer that. But a voice note kind of fits in between them. It's more human.
Exactly. And it builds that connection. They're going to feel, you know, it's very easy to automate your Instagram so that you have an automatic text, but a voice note feels very authentic. So I highly recommend that. So then you have IG story highlights. So this is pulled from my friend Sarah. She is a hair influencer in the United States, and it's very, very cool to see her strategy around, she specializes in pixie cuts. And so, but you can see in her stories, these are saved IG stories in a highlight. They span the topic. So I really want to drive home the idea that you can talk about Halloween, or you can talk about makeup, and you can talk about hair, and all it's going to do is fulfill the richness of your brand. A lot of people think it's mission drift, and I think it's giving you the opportunity to really, really show your followers who you are.
Yeah. I like to reference the highlights as a space where you highlight your best features. You know, like we contour and highlight our face.
Yeah.
Well, some people can, and I don't do it very well because I don't do makeup very well.
I don't either.
Makeup artist, if there's any out there, come show me how to do that stuff because I can't do it. But it is basically you contouring and highlighting the parts of your business that you really want people to see. So, for instance, reviews are an amazing thing to have up there. I have my core values and beliefs of my business because I want everyone to come into my business knowing what I am about, so that they choose to get on my bus and stay on my bus for the duration of our relationship together, you know, team and clients alike. Things like meet the team and getting to showcase the inside of the salon, or your PPE and COVID instructions for guests as they're coming into the salon. Just anything that you need to pick up and highlight in front of people, and that's where that lives.
Yep. Menu items, all of it. So that's so good. Yep. Subtitles. I cannot stress subtitles enough. It's proven that the engagement on your stories, on your Instagram, in feeds, on your IGTV, all of that goes up when you use subtitles. Not to mention it's more ADA accessible. We want to support people of all walks of life in our content. But more than anything, it helps people that are sitting on, you know, the train or in the car with their family and they don't want to listen to your story out loud. They can read and get the gist of your story. So there's many options. There's apps that will literally listen to you in subtitle as you're going. You can hand caption stories. That's what this young lady has done. I highly recommend it. If you do IGTV, you really only have to subtitle the first minute, because when you get into it and you select, it automatically turns the volume on. So
yeah. What I quite like about subtitles is I like to use them to layer. So I don't caption them exactly what I'm saying. I kind of put a hook line in there so that people want to know what I'm going on about and will go back and actually listen to it. But also anyone that is listening to it out loud in the beginning gets that deeper layer of understanding as they're going through.
Yeah, I like that. IGTV, people are sleeping on IGTV. So it's mainly because, if you go back, I can show you guys, Instagram launched IGTV as kind of a competitor to YouTube. And it did not necessarily get used that way. People did not adopt it as a YouTube form. That's mostly because it's vertical and they didn't know if you had to like turn your phone or what was happening. So progressively over the last couple months, again, coming back to Instagram being real estate, you can see Instagram, you got to go up to this little like light or a magnifying glass, and then you have to go into your explore feed and click IGTV to get to this very like generic app. They are not prioritizing this feature. However, you should be. So this is long form video. It can be vertical, it can be sideways. It doesn't really matter, as long as you let people know. People are used to adjusting on their phones. I recommend you caption the first minute, but this is your higher production. This is your concepts where you're teaching things. You have up to 10 minutes. If you have a larger account, you can get up to an hour. I really don't know anyone that is consistently watching an hour on IGTV, but try it. But the key to really getting the most benefit out of IGTV is to share it to your feed. So when you share it to your feed, it's optimized, it's pushed up in the feed, and they can easily click through as that. So I recommend, if you see over here, I went into one of Jay Shetty's videos. Almost all of the marketers right now are creating square content and then posting it to IGTV. It gives you the opportunity to have a long form video in feed. And as long as it fits in feed, then people will continue to watch it up until that minute mark and click through.
Okay, great little tip there.
So again, put some information on how long they are, you can play with the vertical. I've seen a lot of people, when you click through, they have call to actions. Follow me up here. We have 10% off on haircuts right now or whatever. You can hide it in these areas, and only the ones that are truly interested in that message will get that option. I know one thing I do with a couple of my clients is I'll hide promo codes in here. So you can actually see who's converting on your videos, who's watching those things. And it'll be like, DM me the word, Snapple, and I will give you a discount on my services. And then you also simultaneously, you're getting a conversion, but you're also reading your audience a little bit better.
Love that.
And that's all. I'm open to questions and answers if you guys have any.
I think everyone's a bit stumped. I think what I tend to find with salon owners is they know that they need to do this stuff. And they know that they need to do it now, and they know how to do it, but then they get that phone out and go, I can't do it. I can't do it. And the reality is nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody is going to be watching you. Nobody is going to be looking at you thinking, oh my God, she's made a right idiot of herself. They're interested in your message. And when you have a strong message and a passion inside of your heart, like I know that all of you guys have, because I see it in you every single day, I know you can come up with amazing content. And so it's just about you getting out of your way. And so there are some really cool ways of doing this. There's some really cool ways of understanding how to pull yourself away from thinking, oh my God, I look like rubbish, or I don't like the sound of my voice. One of the things I advocate a lot is that when you guys are worried about the sound of your voice and that you don't like it, is that you start making voice notes. You start, any family member that texts you, voice note them back. Any team member that texts you, voice note them back. And within about a week to 2 weeks, you don't care about the sound of your voice anymore because you
stop hearing it. Yeah.
And the next thing to do is then upgrade and start sending videos. So when anyone is messaging you, just, hey, I'm just going to respond to you quickly on video. I'm doing this, and then answer their question and then send it back. Building those human connections. Maybe the next time a customer messages you, you send them a video back. Could you imagine the relationships you are going to build with customers inside Messenger using video? Other salons aren't doing that. And it must be something that you guys over at Gary V do. I don't know how you use human interaction inside your marketing.
It's not us. I mean, Gary is in his DMs 10 hours a day, literally sending people video chats, like people being like, hey, it's Gary. No, it's not. We don't believe you. And then he sends a video back. And it's important and powerful to show that you're a human and that you're real, and people attach to that very quickly.
Yeah, I can imagine. Because can you imagine your favorite hairdresser? I did this during lockdown. Okay, Robin Cromings. You all saw Robert Cromings and Mary Cromings multiple times on this channel. I DM'd them and was like, guys, I love your work. Seriously, you're my favorite hairdressers in the world. I'd really love to interview you. Could you imagine? Well, some of you know what happened when he messaged back, because you got the voice note from me going, ah! But can you imagine when you get a message back from somebody that you absolutely adore saying, yeah, 100%. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. Claire's saying, is it better to do, let's get this up on screen. Is it better to do IGTV videos or stories? What gets you noticed more?
So IGTV videos are a longer version. It's more context, whereas stories are going to be probably what's going to be interacted with the most. And another thing is stories can also simultaneously be shared to your Facebook. So you can post them in both places. It's really well integrated, whereas IGTV isn't as much. So you can get more bang for your buck with stories on Facebook and Instagram at the same time.
Yeah. I kind of feel like IGTV came out and then everybody was like, oh, don't know about that. It was a bit like when stories came out and everyone kind of hung back for about 6 weeks and just let the young ones try it out and see what they looked like, whether they made idiots of themselves. And then we all kind of went, oh, actually, this is all right, we're going to do it. And we all did it. IGTV, I think, is slightly longer commitment, and everyone's done the same, held back, but stayed back, because I don't think Instagram have helped themselves, if I'm completely honest. It moves. Sometimes I can't even find where to find my IGTV. Like, it's just gone one day and then it's back somewhere else. And they're moving it around and they're not really focusing on it. And I understand that it was to wage war on YouTube to try and take that space away from them as the biggest video, what's the word I'm looking for?
Platform?
Like, search engine. And I get why they did it, and I think that they've, by bringing reels out and really focusing on that, I think they've admitted defeat slightly, which means one thing: they will be in the background somewhere figuring out how to bring that back even bigger. So my suggestion to every single one of you is get used to it, figure out how to do it, get used to having your face in front of that camera, and hurry the hell up, because the salon down the road, okay, is going to be doing it. If they're in my group, they most certainly are getting this education. And I don't want you, any one of you, falling behind and watching your business decline whilst the salon up the road takes all your clients because they're doing the stuff that you know you need to do. Okay.
And, you know, you can get fun with it. This doesn't have to be all sales all the time. When you really think about the idea of, what if you had an interview show from your chair while you were cutting someone's hair, you filmed it, you've got a YouTube video, then you've got an IGTV video, then you hire a Fiverr editor who goes in and cuts 3 or 4 pieces of content, and you make them into Instagram posts and stories. You've just come up with multiple days worth of content with only 1 to 2 hours of your time. And so it's like, then you're building a brand over time. This isn't going to be something that's going to revolutionize your salon overnight, but it is going to lay the groundwork for long-term success.
Absolutely. You're almost, I hate this word, but I've never found another word that explains it as well as this. So it's just going to come out my mouth, guys. It's almost like you're grooming clients for later on when they're ready to buy that haircut. They're watching you. Like, I had the other day a client that was on the receiving end of my Instagram funnel. And she messaged me saying, you know, I've got an amazing hairdresser that I absolutely adore and respect, and I love the way she cuts my hair. Thank you. I won't be visiting you. And I was like, I love that message. Thank you for taking the time to send that to me. And thank you from your hairdresser for being so loyal. Loyal clients are so hard to find, and I'm sure she absolutely adores you. 4 days later, I get another message from this lady saying, I have stalked you on every social media platform going for the last 4 days. And I love the way you talk about your business. And I love your website. And I love your ethos and your values and your beliefs inside of your business. So much so that actually my next haircut is going to be with you.
Love that.
How amazing is that?
I mean, it's not surprising. It's not surprising. There's so much effect when you put yourself out there, that especially a personality like yours, like you have such a bright, bubbly, like, I'll come to England and get my haircut. Like, let's go.
Foreign clients all over the globe.
I love it. And I think, you know, the more you can, again, coming back to the fact, you don't have to be the best. You're probably not going to be. If we're being real, like, this isn't social media marketing, all of that is not your chosen field. So it's about just utilizing it, getting out there, creating stuff, and you'll learn as you go. There's really there shouldn't be pressure around this other than to put yourself out there.
No, I totally agree. Claire is, she's saying, I need to do more videos. We're starting TikTok this week. Good luck, Claire. Go and have a look at mine, Obsessions. I think it's obsessions.salon. There's some really funny ones in there of me like pretending a hairspray is a gun and stuff. And honestly,
I love it.
But I feel like, and I think it's because there's lots of people that have done TikToks about I'm over 40 and on TikTok and shouldn't be there, and like this whole mum gang thing of like waging war on the kids. We are on TikTok, get off our space. And I struggle with it immensely. So I've done a few and then I've come off. But there's one that I did with Ellie that is, I actually watched it yesterday. And it's so cool. Like the way I couldn't do it, she had to edit it. Like if you need your things edited, don't go to Fiverr, get a 12-year-old, because they're like bang, 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 done it. It's all day. And she's cut this, so she's washed my hair, and so there's a picture of it wet. Well, it's actually like a video of it wet, and then she's cut it, so then it's like I'm blow drying it, and then we're applying products, and then we're doing this, and then we're doing that, and then in the end, it's like a really lovely curly blow dry, and I'm just like, she's phenomenal. How did you do that?
And that's very true. If you have kids in the house, like they know all of this, and they love making the content. And they do it for fun. So I totally agree. I think also if you're starting TikTok, Claire, I would say to really zero in on what's trending, because that's where you can really utilize the momentum of TikTok, what's trending, and duetting people and going back and forth with those duets. And also remember, anything you make for TikTok, you can put on IG Reels, and IG is pushing Reels so hard because it is a competitive product that it's going to benefit you both ways.
I'm sure it's going to come up straight away. There's one at the minute that is just my absolute favorite. That is not it. No. It's like this Africa. I thought it was going to come up straight away because every time I open my TikTok, there it is. It's like dun, dun, dun. It's like this African theme, and oh my god, it's so cool. And I just think I can just vision like salons. I think we should start get that track off of TikTok, and I think every salon team should do it in the salon and do this little dance. It's such an easy dance. It's like that foot goes 4 times, that foot goes 4 times, then you kind of do that, and then you kind of just do this little walk in and out. It's so cool. But I could just see like salons everywhere just taking that song and making it ours and just having teams doing it. It'd be amazing.
Or even, you've got multiple salon, if you rent by chairs, that passing between screens, you hand a blow dryer off, and there's so many different ways that you can collab. And, then all of a sudden you pivot that and you message it as meet the team. You're playing into a TikTok trend. You're showcasing your salon and your team. There's a lot you can do with it.
I think the best thing, and probably one of the things that I feel that you need to take out of this whole TikTok chat that's just massively just happened organically, love it, is that you need a strategy. And I think if you can think about the end in mind and understand what you want to achieve with that TikTok, then actually creating a TikTok is really, really easy. Yep. So for that TikTok that I did with Ellie, where she cut it and I was like, wet hair, products, blow dry, like a little wiggle, try and like, the products were the focus, okay? It was like the Alpu or ginger range, the products were the focus. The other one was just like a little bit of fun. Like there was no anything. It was just showing me in a light that I'm fun and come and have some fun in the salon, actually. But yeah, definitely have a strategy and an end in mind, and then you absolutely smash it.
Love it.
Any last pearls of wisdom from you?
Get out there and make it. You're never going to get as good of engagement and as good of organic reach as you will today. Like tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit less on everything. So if you start today, you can really, everyone's like, oh, it's too late, it's too saturated. Well, tomorrow it's only going to be more saturated. So like starting now, creating today is the most important thing you can do.
Yeah, totally. And I think videos take transactions from transactions to relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And when you build relationships result in more transactions. So
absolutely.
If you really are so super like, I'm niching down, I am growing this business, Video is where it's at. I can't stress that enough, guys.
Yeah.
And like this here, twice a week, look what I'm doing. Do the same thing. You know, do the same thing for your clients. Get your face out there. Give them all the tips and tricks that they will ever need in their entire life. I was really sad the other day because I was looking for somebody that was smashing YouTube as a salon, showing clients how to do their hair. Couldn't find one for love nor money. I have since found one.
Oh, good.
Oh, I know. Somebody mentioned it on my Facebook group, and it was theirs. And I went and looked at it, and it was so good. I was like, damn, why did I not see this when I was doing my presentation? I was so upset. But then that's something that they can learn from because they're not showing up.
Yeah, they're not showing up, and it sounds like you have your next guest.
Yes. Absolutely. I am going to just going to write that down.
But thank you so much for having me on. I mean, it was fun.
And you're always fun. You make me laugh. You really, really do. I love your infectious energy. I really do.
You too. Thank you.
Danyah, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for everyone in the Successful Salon Team training room. You may have noticed before I go that we've actually changed the name of the group. We're getting serious. I'm niching down. I talked to you guys about niching down. I'm niching down. Now, when I set this group up, I set it up during lockdown to help the entire industry. So salon owners, stylists, receptionists, reservationists, whoever we could get in the group, we wanted in to collaborate and grow as an industry. But now I'm taking this a step further. We're niching down. It's a group for salon owners. I'm not going to be kicking out any stylists. You can stay in, okay? If you're a stylist in this group, you are going to grow exponentially because you're getting all the information that salons need, okay? So pay attention to what's happening in this group. But I won't be accepting any more stylists in. It's salon owners only. So if you have a salon owner as a friend that isn't in the group, please let them know. We are covering A to Z of marketing and back again. You know, I train so hard to bring you this stuff, and I you know, it's knowledge that's in my head, and it's useless if it's just in my head. I want to bring it to you guys too, help you grow your businesses. So Danyah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Having you here. Hopefully we'll get to nip you away again sometime soon.
Definitely.
And have you back. Lots of love. You all take lots of care. I will see you all on Monday evening, 7 o'clock. Don't be late. Let's go. Bye-bye.